Ich bin sehr glücklich, dass wir wirklich eine legendäre Dame des georgischen Kinos bei uns haben können. Lana Gogoberidze wurde in Tiflis als Tochter überzeugter Kommunisten geboren. Ihre beiden Eltern wurden 1937 verhaftet. Ihr Vater wurde erschossen, ihre Mutter musste für 10 Jahre nach Sibirien. Lana Gogoberidze hat zuerst Literatur studiert, sie hat über Walt Whitman promoviert. Sie hat dann Film studiert in Moskau und ab den 60er Jahren hat sie Filme gedreht, die es mit der Zensur immer schwer hatten, die es aber dann doch geschafft haben, international gesehen zu werden. Wir haben am Freitag und Samstag 2 Filme von ihr gesehen. Sie hat seither wieder Filme gemacht und dieser Film ist ganz neu. Wie ich vorhin erwähnte, wird Lana Gogoberidze am Mittwoch 91 Jahre alt. Ich glaube, das ist wirklich einen Applaus wert. Lana Gogoberidze ist aber nicht nur als Filmemacherin aktiv, sie hat sich auch in der Filmausbildung sehr engagiert, sie hat sich in der Politik engagiert, sie war auch Botschafterin für Georgien in Frankreich. Und neben mir eben Nana Jorjadze, die Sie soeben ausgiebig im Film gesehen haben, ich habe sie vorher vorgestellt. Ich werde das Gespräch auf Englisch führen, weil das hat sich jetzt ziemlich gut bewährt, mein Georgisch ist inexistent. Und Frau Gogoberidze spricht so viele Sprachen, dass wir das gut auf Englisch machen können. Ich hoffe, das ist für Sie okay. Wir kriegen dann auch mehr Fragen in der Zeit. This is a film about how to deal with the past. In the first 2 films we saw yesterday and on Friday, the past is something which is very present in the film because we go with flashbacks, etc. And in this film, the past occurs in the shape of 2 people. Of the former lover, Archil, and of Miranda, the official, I don't know, what do you call them, commissar. Can you tell us a bit more about these 2 characters?
Thank you. First of all, still I want to begin by saying that you made such a good job, really.
Thank you.
Really, you and Elaine. These 2 people, they made a real job which generally 100 people are working hundreds to make something, such kind of festival. It is not easy, you know, it's really very difficult. And thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome.
For your enthusiasm and how you are making everything. Thank you. Then I would like to say that I fell in love with Zurich. Really, it's surprising town, you know, really surprising by everything, by atmosphere, by aura, and everything, all this old town, of course, and how you preserve it, how you love your past, just your past, about which you put me the question. Well, and what about the film? Yes, it's, you are right. The past is always present in our life, especially when your past is such one which we passed in Soviet Union, as maybe others in their countries, everywhere there were difficulties, as Germany with their everything that happened in Germany and in Europe in general. And for me it was really always, it was this question, you know, what you have to do with your past. If you live in past, then it is not a real life, then you are dead, I can say so, if you live only in your past. And then once I have read somewhere that in Japan there is such a technique which is called kintsugi. It's such a strange thing, you know, by a golden thread they are unifying the broken potteries. The pottery broken centuries ago are unified by golden thread, and then it becomes so beautiful, you know. And for me it was metaphor of our past and our present, how you can do with your past. Is it your burden or your treasure? And still I think now that really, if you can unify your past by this golden thread, and golden thread for me it is compassion, love between persons. For instance, here in the film, as I perceive it, my main character sitting here, she at last, she realizes that she needs this another person as Archie is, which is incarnation of the past, of her past. And in the beginning, when he called her, she was sneered somehow because he thought that it isn't important. Now he wants to make remember how I lived in my past, and it's impossible. But in the end, just after she loses Miranda, and when she understood that she did not show to Miranda that she understood that Miranda also is alone in this world, and she needs her compassion. And when she realizes it, then she also understands that she needs this love of Archie. And this is the subject of the film.
I think it's very impressive how the character of Eleni realizes that Miranda is a person you can have pity for her, because she only lives in the past. She has no present. She's completely stuck in her past. And your character manages to live in the past but also in the present. How did you work on your character?
You know,
Sie können auch auf Deutsch antworten.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Before you will say things, I would like to tell you that when I was seeking for who can be this actress playing this role, it was really very difficult for me, because it was somehow as I am or my friends were, and then I thought about Nana with her personality, very strong personality really that she has. She is not actress, as you know, she's filmmaker. Maybe you have seen here her film, and then I decided that she will be really just this person I want to, with her past, with her present, with her red hair. Red hair was very important for me, and it is in the film. And now I would like you to say how you felt.
Ja, thank you. Ja, ich wollte sagen, natürlich, es war wirklich Überraschung, als Lana mich angerufen hat gesagt, guck mal, vielleicht spielst du die Rolle. Ich habe so eine Angst bekommen, weil ich bin wirklich keine Schauspielerin, und es war wirklich... Ich habe gedacht, das ist so schwierig, und Lana weiß ganz genau, was will sie, wie will sie, und ja, natürlich, es war schwierig für mich, aber auch leicht, weil es ist wirklich ein Glück, mit Lana zu arbeiten. Sie ist sehr leicht, sie weiß alles, was sie will, sie erklärt dir, was musst du machen, wie und warum. Und ja, diese Einsamkeit, das verstehen wir doch alle. Und wir brauchen die Liebe, das verstehen auch alle. Es hat keine Eltern, und kleine Kinder und alte Leute und alle brauchen es. Und es ist wirklich unmöglich, ohne Liebe, ohne einander zu leben. Naja, und ja, es war ein Glück, Zusammenarbeit mit Lana.
Wie sehen Sie denn die Vergangenheit eher als Bürde, als Last oder als Schatz?
Nein, kein Last. Ich habe wirklich eine wunderschöne Kindheit gehabt. Mein ganzes Leben ist mein Leben, ist mein Last, es ist mein Glück, es ist meine Traurigkeit und so viele Leben habe ich in meinem eigenen Leben erlebt. Es war so interessant, wirklich, mein ganzes Leben. Und natürlich, es ist Glück. Es waren sehr viele schwierige Momente, Zeiten, aber es ist alles ist hier. Ja.
Die junge Frau,
es war immer interessant, das ist Glück.
Die junge Frau, die ihre Tochter spielt, könnte ihre Tochter sein. Ist es ihre Tochter?
Natürlich nein, es ist nicht meine Tochter. Aber es ist die Schauspielerin, die ich für meinen Film Chefin Love auf der Straße gefunden habe. Sie war Journalistin und ich habe aus dem Fenster sie gesehen. Habe ich gedacht, es war nachts dunkel und ja, also in 2 Tagen war sie schon im Film. Sie war Journalistin. Sie hat mir gesagt, ich kann nicht spielen, ich bin keine Schauspielerin, ich bin Journalistin. Okay, geh mal. Und und dann hat Lana sie als meine Tochter eingeladen. Naja.
Hat gut funktioniert, würde ich sagen.
Ja, denke ich schon. Ja. Sie ist wunderschön, wunderbar und sie ist sehr begabt. Als Schauspielerin, als Regisseurin, sie macht Dokumentarfilme, sehr gut, sehr schön. We're talking about...
Schade, ich verstehe.
Nee, we're talking about Nino Jorjadze, because she's my daughter in a film, and we're just talking about her. Yeah.
I thought she might be her daughter, because she's really so perfect as her daughter. I have seen 3 of your films now. Unfortunately, I don't know the other ones, and there seem to be recurring elements which turn up in all the films. Dancing is very important, dancing with fancy clothes. Yeah. Another element is cleaning the plants, and the plants in general is also something which is everywhere. But something I would like to talk to you about is the houses. The houses. The people live in the houses, always in huge apartments. I envy them. They are really magnificent.
ყოველთვის საოცარ სახლებში ცხოვრობენ და თქვენთვის მნიშვნელობა აქვს საოცრად საინტერესო სახლებში და ეს ამას მნიშვნელობა აქვს თქვენთვის და ცეკვას აქვს ძალიან დიდი მნიშვნელობა.
And they, at least in 2 films, they insist that this is a house which my grandfather built or my grand-uncle built. So this seems to be a very important element, to be in a house which is really rooted in history, rooted in the family. Can you say something about this?
You noticed it really. Yeah, of course. You know, generally, so not, I don't think only for me, but in general. For instance, what I like just here in Zürich, this and I see how it's maintained. The old houses, they are as if they are built today. Really, everywhere you see it. And for me, really, the furniture and the whole aura of the house is very important. My households, so the generations and generations, you feel there, the generations who lived in the houses, and this gives the real life to your being today, how you are today, how you feel the life of today, and then you can imagine how you will be in future. I think so. Mm-hmm. When this past is present, but in the same time, you can be a real member of society, modern society.
Yeah.
And then it becomes something that is interesting. I have such impression.
Wir haben ein Mikrofon. Wenn Sie Fragen stellen möchten, dann kommt meine Kollegin zu Ihnen mit dem Mikrofon. Julia, ich habe dich vorhin gesehen.
Ich kann auch sonst.
Ja.
Ich kann auch.
Ja, also ich bin froh, wenn du das machen kannst, Elene. Ja. Ah nein, Julia ist da. Gut, ist gut, ja, danke. Kannst du mir vielleicht das Mikrofon geben?
Ja.
Wenn es Fragen gibt im Publikum, bitte melden Sie sich und dann wird Julia zu Ihnen kommen mit dem Mikrofon. Ja, bis Sie sich getrauen, frage ich vielleicht noch etwas. Can you tell us something about how this project was built up, how it was made? Is it difficult for somebody, for you, like of your status, to make a film in Georgia, or is it easy? I see you have a French co-production. Can you tell us something a bit how this project was built up?
როგორ შედგა ეს პროექტი?
No, yes, it was somehow it was a co-production with Jean-Louis Pardis and his society. No, there was a real interest in Georgia to work this project. I won the concourse of National Film Center,
and how was it received? I think it's such an important film about how to integrate the past in today's life. I suppose it's also not only for people of your generations, it's important also for young people to have this long breath into history. How was it received in Georgia?
Very well. You know, I can say that I never felt that in whole my life I made only 11 films, and for this film, just for this film, there was such an interest on Facebook especially. They were writing me letters and all people that I don't know at all. It was a new thing, this social aspect of it. It was really very precious for me because I felt that it is alive, these ideas of the film.
I felt so too. Oh, sorry. That's okay, don't worry. Ja, bitte, wem dürfen wir das Mikrofon geben? Ganz hinten, ja, danke.
Es würde mich interessieren, ob die andere Großmutter, die eine frühere sowjetische Funktionärin war, ob sie nach einer konkreten Person gedacht ist, oder ist es
კონკრეტული პერსონა თუ არის მეორე ბებია, ესე იგი გურანდა ნამდვილი პერსონი თუ არის, მის უკან თუ დგას ნამდვილი პერსონა.
Yes, you're right. You know, I knew such a person in my life. A very, very interesting one. She as personality, this woman about which I wanted to speak in the film, is really a very strong personality, but in Soviet Union she was a real functionary, and fulfilling all orders of the system and of the party. She everything she made in her life, she made in the name of this Communist Party. And she was always sure that she has the right to make this, for instance, to cancel the book, for instance. And I know her very well. She's grandmother of my grandson, I can say so. And she's another side of my grandson. Even it was somehow difficult for me to depict this picture, but as I know the depths in her heart, then it was, for me, I wanted just this to show that she also has all human feelings, and she also is suffering, and when someone suffers, then this is also the sign that she is a personality. This is what I can tell you.
Wem dürfen wir das? Ja, danke.
I try in English. there was for me an interesting contrast between the couple we see at the rear or in front. They are in conflict, and then the woman and the man has to leave, and then he comes back, and the conflicts come again, and the relationship between the principal, the couple only calling. He never says that he can't walk, that he's on a, I don't know, on a chair.
Wheelchair.
Yes. And this contrast, even this couple has a kind of nice relationship. There is also the jealousy coming because the other woman, Miranda, tells that Archie was also interested in her, and this somehow you say love is important, and on the other hand it seems not so easy to realize in the real life.
Thank you very much. I think that it is a comment, not a question. And I enjoy how you felt the film. It's so complicated, human relations, you know. You can't say just that this is a good person, this is a bad person. It's so, just so the word is good, complicated. The personalities and relations between these two women. You can't say who is right, who has acted well. Simply to say so. It's very simple to say so. And the problem of we are all still alone in this world, even when we have very, very good relations with our. And especially, you know, when you are in the age, it happens so that, for instance, it's for me, I had very close friends in my life, some 5 or 6 persons, or maybe even more, and then nobody is now alive, none of them. And for me, this is the loneliness. I am lonely because just today I don't feel them, those people. With them I passed through my life. Even if I have very, very affectionate relations with my daughters, with my granddaughters, grandson, they are here, you know, almost all of them. And even with this I feel this loneliness because I have lost my friends, and friendship means so much in our life. And then also the relations with the granddaughter, maybe even grand-granddaughter of this main character. It is also very important for me. It gives her the strength of life, as I feel this now with my granddaughters, you know.
Maybe I can ask without a microphone?
Yeah, it's coming. Oh, yeah.
This is a short question, actually. How much is autobiography in this film? Because you already mentioned that you know the character of this Miranda, and you are talking about grandchildren, and of course of this the past and the past tense, the present tense, and I guess it's about a kind of about your life.
Yeah, you know, I have even here I have shown there were I don't know whether you assisted at the films that were shown yesterday and the day before yesterday, because I have spoken about this a lot already here in this. So, yes, it's a lot of things are autobiographical. Just this one, the mother who passed 10 years, this woman who passed 10 years without her mother in her early childhood, not early, and almost her youth passed without her mother. And this is my past. Just this one. The past of this main character is my past. Just this is autobiographical, especially.
Thank you so much, first of all. Beautiful movie, beautiful dialogues and music. I have a question concerning the joy of life. You seem to be a person who embraces future. You bring the internet and you come across as a person who is striving towards future. But at the same time, you highlight how important it is to have the past in your present, and you do it very beautifully with the analogy of Japanese. And then there is this character who says, couple who discover how they lost the joy of life. Why do you think that happened? Do you think that has something to do because they abandoned the past and they failed to bring it into the present, or it is because of their age, because it's just part of the life? But how do you, and how much do you think that conveys the generation, her generation in Georgia, who had this very tough upbringing and then live in the current Georgia?
I'm really pleased by the way you appreciated the film, really, because I have no answers. Maybe you felt that in the film there are no answers. I think that while whole your life you shut one door and are opening another one. And if you are interested in everything, in everyday's life, then you really can feel what is the life in its depths, and it's very small events that very small thing may affect you really so much, and you are, if you are flexible and you can change with everything which is happening just now in your life. It's Blaise Pascal's formula, very interesting. One, if you think that the agony of Christ has been and is finished, then you are dead. But if you feel that this agony you see every day in your life, then you are alive, and act then. You can act really if you see that just now somebody is suffering before you. But maybe you don't know this person, but still you know that it exists, that it happens every day, just now, before you, and then you are alive, and you can really live. The life is there. You can live slowly, it's not interesting, but if you are alive every minute of your life, every minute, you can see all persons you meet, and you feel that there is somebody suffering just before you. Then this is what gives you the will of life, and you love life also. I say something and still in English it isn't so easy. If I could speak in Georgian or in Russian, or in French also, it would be better for me.
Es hat hinten noch eine Frage.
It's very interesting, you know, to speak with you, all of you. Thank you very much for how what kind of thoughts you felt watching the film. It's very important for me, I assure you.
Ich habe eine ganz kleine Frage. Im Film kommen diese kleinen Figuren vor, die nicht bemalt werden dürfen, werden in dieser Schachtel aufbewahrt, die von der Mutter, die in der Verbannung war, gemacht worden sind.
Ja, ich übersetze schnell auf Englisch. She's talking about these little bread figures. About the bread figures the mother made when she was banished into Siberia, and which cannot be painted, and which are in this tin box.
Und mich würde interessieren, ob Sie etwas sagen könnten zu diesen Figuren.
Yes, she wants to know about these figures.
It's also a detail which means a lot for me, because when my mother came from her exile or concentration camp, she told me that there in prison still, they were making things with the bread. And it was also what I was making all my life, you know, something with bread. And these figures are made by me. But my mother was making the same things in prison. And all these figures, now my house is full with these small figures made by bread, from bread. And then I made this, how I saw her in her exile. And this is what you are speaking about. And yes, you noticed it. It's important, something. So this is the image of how I saw my mother being in her far north, really.
Those among you who have seen...
Now I'm making a film about my mother, a documentary about my mother, and there I speak about all these things, you know, and as I have... if you have seen yesterday, someone maybe have seen yesterday here my film, Waltz on Pechora, there you see how it is, where she was, and how it is on 400 degree of temperature, and how they live there. And all these things you'll see in the film that I project here, I'm sure.
We would be very happy about that. We have time for one more question.
It was very interesting to speak here with you. Thank you very much for that.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we hope to welcome you again with your next film. It was great to have you here, Lana. Thank you so much for coming.
Here,
great.
Here, my film.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.